Get my camera. Okay. Hello, everyone. Yes, Queen Wiki here. Today is AKAS Day. We're going to talk about AKAS. Yesterday was very, people loved it. I got a lot of good feedback from it. We talked a bit about both AKAS and ARK. And in general, we talked about DeFi projects and what they bring to the table and what we should be looking for. In terms of the security, sustainability, the infrastructure, and safety, of course. So here tonight, we're going to talk about AKAS. And some of you guys are already very much familiar with the compensation plan. So you like to come hear me speak, I'm going to send you a audio video. But let's get this party started. Let's see. And then we'll open it up for Q&A. Okay. Square this away. Here we go. All righty. So what we have here, we're going to have a brief overview of what AKAS is about, full chain resonance protocol, okay, based upon the Olympus DAO 4.0 architecture. Actually, it's based upon the Olympus DAO 3.0 version 3 architecture. AKAS came and they modified it a tad, and they're calling it Olympus DAO 4.0. But there's no Olympus DAO 4.0. We know that. Now, let's start with this. I've had a lot of presentations. I've put all of those presentations and webinars. The videos are in the Telegram group in the live Zoom webinars topic folder. So I'm going to go straight into how do you come on board? How do you participate in AKAS? Okay. Now, the first thing you're going to do, because we are on the Polygon blockchain, the gas is POL, P as in Paul, OL, just like in Ethereum, the gas is ETH, just like on Binance Smart Chain, the gas is, but BNB, every blockchain has a gas token, okay? And so here on the Polygon, it's POL. You're also dependent upon whether you're going to participate in the bonds and or the stakes. And these are the passive entities as part of this, and they're the main entities as part of AKAS, bonds and staking. So with the bonds, what you're going to do is you need what? DAI. DAI is a stable coin, an algorithmic stable coin on the Polygon blockchain. So if you want $1,000 worth of bonds, then of course you got to have $1,000 worth of DAI in your private wallet. Okay. Now, if you want to buy the bonds, you're going to log in, you're going to connect, right? And then you're going to click on swap. I'm sorry, not for bonds. Bonds, you're going to use DAI directly, and you're going to purchase your bonds either 30 days. I think they got a 5-day one. I'm not sure. They've got 90 days, 180 days, 360 days, etc. You're going to be able to, what you're doing when you're buying bonds is you're able to buy AS tokens at a discount. Just the other day, I bought AS tokens when it was $20. I bought it at a discount, bought some bonds at a discount and got a 17% discount and bought it for $16.94 or something similar to that. So you're going to have to look back there because the discount that you're going to get on your purchase of bonds, which is in essence making you purchase, you're purchasing AS tokens. Okay, at a discount. So that goes with the treasury bonds, which hasn't launched yet. It goes with the LP bonds and the buy burn bonds as well. They all have their respective discounts. Okay. Now, when you're talking about buying the bonds, every 12 hours, you're going to earn 0.3% through 1%. Okay. Every 12 hours. We're earning right now about 0.43% every 12 hours, about 0.43, 0.45, what have you. Okay, every 12 hours. If you do absolutely nothing and just buy your bonds, you can sit back, chillax. It's going to compound on its own. You're going to earn yield every 12 hours, okay? Which is wonderful. You do have the right, if you like to, is to take some of your yield, put it in your pocket, withdraw it, put it in your wallet, go have some sushi, nigiri sushi and plum wine, or, pay some bills, hospital bills, or some past due bills, and whatever you want to do with it is up to you. There are different strategies for different people. Everyone have different motives and different financial situations. Okay. So again, in all three of these cases, all three of these bonds, we are buying AS tokens at a discount while at the same time we're earning compound interest. Okay. So you need DAI for that. Now, in terms of staking, we have flexible staking. We also have long-term staking. Okay. Now, if you're supposed to have the DAI in your private wallet. And if you want to stake, you're going to connect your wallet to the DApp, okay, the AKAS DAO. And then you're going to go to the menu. You're going to click on swap. And there, you're going to swap your DAI that's sitting in your private wallet. You're going to swap that for AKAS tokens, which is AS tokens. Now you're ready to stake. So staking needs the AS token. Bond only needs the DAI. Okay, so now that you're staking, you're going to choose whether you want flexible staking. Flexible staking does not have any time limits. Okay, you can get in, stake flexibly, earn some rebates or what have you. Let's say 4 or 5 days later, you decide, hey, I want to get out of this. I've made enough in these 4 or 5 days. I'm cool in the game, right? Or you keep it there 15 days, 17 days, 19 and a half days, 50 days, however you want to keep it there. It's going to continue to compound if you don't touch it. If you touch it, of course, your yield will be the same, but what's working for you will decrease in value because you're taking away your compounding effect. Okay? So that's how that works. And it makes the same amount of money, if I'm not mistaken, 0.3% through 1% every 12 hours. Plain and simple. Okay? Plain and simple. Okay, so here is what we have for the bonds. Here you can earn 5% discount if you have a bond and you stay 5 days, right? 30 days, you can earn up to 10% discount. 90 days, you can earn up to 15% discount. 180 days up to 25%, 360 days up to 35%. I believe the 360 days at this point is about 17%, which is pretty darn good. Okay? Pretty darn good. Now, so you're getting a discount. When I talked about the single token staking, when you're taking your DAI, you're swapping it for AS, you're buying tokens. Okay? And when you want to do the flexible, or if you want to do the long term, it doesn't matter. You're still going to get these little bonuses over here. We call them boost. 0.04, 0.06, 0.08, 0.09. That's just a little extra something for you. But you're still earning between 0.3% through 1% every 12 hours like clockwork. Okay? Now we're going to make an assumption here. What if the rebase yield every 12 hours is 0.6%? If that's so, then you're going to get a monthly yield of 42.58%. Okay? Okay? If indeed, and this is a monthly yield, so if you stay in for just 1 month, then you will have 42.58% will be your yield. Right now, again, we're at 0.43, 0.45%. So the calculation is about 30% monthly yield. Just to give you a general idea, we have a calculator in the Telegram group. Okay, you go under resources or training or something like that, and you'll find in the topics folder, you'll find a calculator there where you can do some what if analysis. Imagine if it's 0.9%, right, every 12 hours, then that would be 71%. Okay, so it really depends. Now, That's theoretical. So here's another theoretical example. Assuming you start out with staking 1,000 AS, and let's assume that the rebased yield is 0.6% every 12 hours. And this chart is for compounding interest without you touching anything. You just leave it there. Let's say you choose a staking period of 30 days. You buy, right? You stake 1,000 AS. After 30 days, you have 1,431.79 AS. And this is one of the reasons why I tell people, particularly if you're passive, don't focus on the price at this time. The compound interest is going to offset that, right? So right here, you've got 431 extra, okay, in 30 days, okay? Unless we go down 42.58%, then you basically break even. And we haven't gone down in price at 42.58%, not even close. Okay? Now, 60 days, of course you'll get more. If you stay there, you don't touch anything for 60 days, you will have doubled, more than doubled your AS token amount to 2,050. 90 days, 180 days, 360 days. Of course, the longer you hold, the more AS you will accumulate. For 360 days, for example, you will now have from 1,000 AS, you've got 74,224 AS tokens, right? And then it expires, right? So you get your principal back in tokens, and you've got your rebase tokens, and you can sell them, go about your merry way. But what many people will do, because we all vary, they won't hold them for the full 180 days or 100 or 360 days or even the 90 days. So if you're taking your rebase out every 2 days, every week, or what have you, of course, these numbers will be less. This is with 100% compounding for these particular staking periods. And so let's look at this here at the 360 days. If indeed the price of AS is $100, then you have 7.42 million. I like to do examples on the realistic side. Let's say if the price of AS at the end of the year is $10, right? And so that would be $742,000. Right? And you spent you have 1,000 AS that you came in with 1,000 AS today. I think we're close. We had a hit last night, but I think we're close to about 17 point something, almost 18. So let's say $17. So this would have been $7,000 you spent to get 1,000 AS to walk away at the end of the year. If the price of AS token is $10, that'll be $742,000. That's pretty darn good. Let's say for 60 days, you have 2,050 tokens. You have double the amount of tokens. You spent how much? You spent about $17,000 today, right? So if at $10, you have 20,000, right? $20,500. Right? And so you've made a few $1,000s, but just in 60 days, you made about $3,000 extra. Instead of 17,000, you made over 20.5 K, right? So the longer you hold it, let's say 90 days, which is 3 months, right? Then you have 2,935 at $10 after 90 days. If the valuation of the token is $10, that's $29,000, $29.3 thousand, and you paid in 17. And so this is what I talk about when I talk about the power of compounding. The shorter time that we stake, and if during that time we're pulling out our rebase, if during that time we are pulling out some of our principal, none of these numbers apply. Okay? So I'm going to modify my calculator, and I'm going to have a new column that says I'm going to be withdrawing 20% of what I'm earning daily every week. or every day or what have you. And so you can be able to see what those numbers are and compare it to if you didn't do anything in 30 days. Just let it sit and let it auto compound. Okay, I hope you guys follow me on that. I tell you, compound is the seventh wonder of the world. It is the seventh wonder of the world. So let's go down here. That's it. If you want to just be a passive community member, we welcome all. We are a decentralized autonomous organization, what we call a DAO. What does that mean? Plain and simply, it means a community with common interests, right? And so, but there are those who says, you know, I want to make more AS tokens. What do I need to do? We're going to leverage people we know. We're going to leverage our network. We're going to wake up and we're going to just introduce it to people casually. You don't even need to hype it. I'm not a hypester. I don't know how to do that. I'm not a salesperson either. I show you what we have here, and I show people what I have here. They ask me questions, and then what I do, I make a conscious effort to get the answers. Okay? This is what I do. And now that you've decided that you're going to share it with other people, you're going to be able to make a lot more AS. The first one is the resonance reward. So let's say, for example, you have $100 in AS holdings, staking and stuff, right? And you just bring in one guy or gal. Now you're going to be able to earn 10% of what they earn every day. Okay? You're going to be able to earn 10% of what they earn every day. But you're also going to be able to earn 10% of what the guy or gal who brought you in, right? What they earn every day. One level up, one level down. Upward resonance, downward resonance. How about that? And I want to make this crystal clear. If you're coming in and you say, I'm just going to put $100 in, and if the price of AS token goes down overnight, which it has, your $100 is no longer $100 in AS. It could be $90 in AS, okay? It could be $85 in AS. It could be $99 in AS. What I would highly recommend, and it's all up to you, is that you allow a buffer for price fluctuation. So if the price goes down, your AS holdings and USD amount goes down. So put in $140 instead of just 100, and then you're safe. Okay? Otherwise, if it goes down to $99, then you don't get this resonance rewards. You must have $100. See, here you're going to get 10% on everything on the guy or gal who brought you in, and 10% on the guy or gal that you actually personally brought in. All of their daily earnings, as long as they're earning. Now, here, if you want to earn 2 levels up and 2 levels down, then you must have $200 or more. Okay? And you'll get 5% on them, and then the people on your front line and the guy or gal who brought you in, you're still going to be earning 10% on their daily earnings. Okay? Let's go all the way down to $1,000. Again, if you put in $1,000, you're going to be able to earn 10 levels up and 10 levels down, upward resonance, downward resonance, right? On what all of these folks down 10 levels and up 10 levels are earning on a daily basis. How about that? You need $1,000 and 10 folks that you bring on board. It'll be 10 wallets. Half of them could be your wallets. Doesn't matter, as long as you've got 10 wallets on your front line, personally referred by you. And again, make sure you don't just drop 1,000, because if this goes down to, let's say, 900, let's say it goes down to $800, then you earn 8 up and 8 down. So make sure if you have $1,000, come in with 1,050, something like that, maybe 1,100. Okay, so you have that buffer for the price fluctuation. And we're going to get the ups, we're going to get the downs. Okay, now, and so what you'll be doing at this point, on your 10 levels down and up, 10 up, 10 down, you get 1% on the 10th level. The 9th level, 1%. The 8th level, 7th level, 6th level, 5th level, 4th level, right? Up and down, 2%, 2%, 2%. On the third level, 3%. On the second level, 5%. And the folks you personally brought in, all 10 of them, you're going to get 10% on them and 10% on the guy or gal that's above you. So that's how that works. But here's a caveat. With all of the folks that you personally bring in, those 10 people, you're going to be earning, right, on all 10 levels down in your team. Okay, no, it doesn't matter. You put in 1,000 and they put in 100,000, whatever they earn, you're going to be getting the reward ratio. But on the upward resonance, that's your sponsor, and your sponsor, and your sponsor, all the way up. And if you only have 1,000, but they've got 10,000, pay attention. You're going to be earning the percentage of the maximum of your AS holdings. So if someone upstairs has $10,000 and you have $1,000 in holdings, you're going to be only able to earn under $1,000. That's where the cap comes. But downward, there's no cap. Upward, there is a cap. Okay? And you'll see that sometimes you'll see forfeited bonus or something like that. People say, what am I forfeiting? How do I fix it? Basically, it's because you're probably 1,000 or what have you, and the guys upstairs, they got the 10,000 or 5,000, or the guy probably have a 500. You'll get all of that. But you see what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do about it unless you ask your sponsor, hey, how much you got in? I want to match you. But me, I'm not interested in matching anyone, because getting what I get down 10 levels and up 10 levels, I'm happy and satisfied with that. So that's the resonance reward. That's one way you're going to earn for actually participating in the DAO in an active manner. What more can you earn? Well, we have what we call title rewards, okay? We have what we call title rewards. And what is that? Well, there are 12 ranks or titles, V1 to V12. Okay? For V1, you need to have $1,000 in personal stakes. Okay? You need to have 10 on your front line. And what they're going to do, you need $20,000 in sales on your smaller legs combined. So if you have 10 direct referrals and everybody's always getting a runaway child, who's just jamming, okay? Whomever your largest leg is, they're going to eliminate that from the equation. You're always going to earn on everybody in your team. But for the sake of the purpose of specifying the rank, they're going to add up 1 through 9 legs that are your lesser legs, add up their volume together, and if that's $20,000, you are now a V1. You will get 15% on their daily earnings, okay? Okay, on their daily rebase yield. V2, you have to have 1,510 people on your front line and 60,000 on all of your smaller legs to get the 25,000. Okay, V4, more. You're going to have a larger personal stake that's required. You're going to need 15 direct referrals on your front line, $350,000, right, in volume on your smaller legs. Now, let's say you are a V1, okay, because this is a differential unit level. If you're a V1 and somebody in your team, the guy or gal in your team is a V4, that cuts you off. Okay, if they're V3, that cuts you off. If they're a V2, you would get a percentage. I think you get about 5% or something, I can't remember, or the difference here, right? If you have the same V1s underneath you, you're all fine and dandy. You'll continue to get that 15%. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. And that is just for a particular leg, not for all of your legs, right? Because again, you're going to have that runaway child, that's just running and working hard and building the DAO, introducing a cost to the community and just volume galore, okay? And so you may not be earning on that particular leg in terms of the title rewards, but you do get the resonance and you get all the other goodies I'm going to continue to talk about now. Okay, let's talk about the referral reward. Okay, now you notice that I haven't, well, let me get to this one. So, referral reward, you bring in just one person and you can unlock just perpetual rewards forever. So, even though somebody is killing you, one leg is killing you, you still earn on that leg. You're still going to get 2%. You're still going to get 2%. And so, it's going to be for all people who are titled. So, you've got to be titled. And all of the people, 10 generations who are titled, you're going to get 2% of all of their title rewards. And what do I mean by that? Okay. Let's say, for example, you are V1, the V12, and you've got some V1s and V12s on your team. Hallelujah. But let's say on your first level, you have no V1s or V12. And let's say on the second level, you have no V1 through V12. And let's say on your third level, you have no V1 to V12. A lot of people think, oh my God, I can only earn on 10 generations, believing those are levels. So now I just have to hope that my 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 level have some V1s and V12. Because if all of the work is done on V11 and V15, I'm sorry, on level 11 and level 15 and level 30, I don't get none of that. Yes, you do. Because they use a compression mechanism. If you have no titled people on level 1, they compress it out. None on level 2, compressed out. They disregard it. None on level 3. Now, level 4, oh, she's got some V1s and some V2s. That becomes your first generation. So you don't get penalized if the people right underneath you on the lower levels aren't really doing anything or ranking. You don't get penalized. They get compressed out of the equation. Okay? So theoretically, you could have on your fourth level, that could be your first generation. On your 10th level, could be your second generation. On your 30th level, could be your third generation, etc. Until you get to 10 levels that have title folks on it, right? Because they're compressing out the ones that don't have titles, right? The levels that don't have titles. So that's wonderful. You'll get 2% on what they're earning in title rewards every day. So that's another stream of income for the active people, right? Who are bringing people to the table. Now let's talk about the income tax. What's that? Hey, you know, we're always sure of taxes. Wherever we go, we're sure of taxes, right? Now, and don't tell me that Dubai has no taxes. Yes, they do. Yeah, okay. But in any case, let's say, for example, you do a claim. And you say, I want to claim my rebates, right? And you claim your rebates. They're gonna come up with a page that says you want it in 5 days, you got to pay 15% tax. That's like a withdrawal fee, if you will. You want it in 10 days? Okay, we'll cut down your taxes and you'll get that 10% income tax rate. How about 15 days? 5% income tax rate or withdrawal fee. 20 days? 1%. Notice they call that the awakened release. It's for those who are supporting the platform, those who can wait 20 days. But the thing is, I tell people, you don't have to wait 20 days. Okay? 100 divided by 20, that's 100% of your money, divided by 20 days, you're going to get 5% released the day that you can withdraw to your wallet. 5% day 1, 5% day 2, 5% day 3, 4, 5, all the way to 5% day 20. Look at 5 days. You don't have to wait to 5 days to get your AS released. You're going to get what's 100 divided by 5 is 20. 20% a day. 20% day 1, 20% day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. Boom, you got 100% of your withdrawal request. But you may go in there on day 1, take your 20%, withdraw it. Maybe you wait 3 days, take your 20, 40, 60% withdrawal. You follow me on this. It is distributed linearly, evenly over the days, not at the end. Okay, so you don't have to wait there for 20 days to get something out of there. So that's another way. Now, what do they do with this income tax? Why am I paying this income tax? 50% of the income tax goes into a pool. Okay? 50% of the income tax of the whole DAO, the whole global DAO, goes into a pool. And what do they do with that 50%? They give it to people who are the backbone of the DAO, of the community. And those are V1s through V4s. V1s to V4. People say, well, what about V5s and V8 and V10s? Typically, V1s, the V4s, the lower ranks, are the backbone of the community. Okay? When they get to the point where they're V5 and V6 and V7, V8, they're rich. So they don't get any of this rebate reward, right? Okay? And why are they doing this? They're actually rewarding you for saying, I am ready to contribute to the DAO. I am ready to help build this community. So every 15 days, you get this rebate reward. And how do they determine how much you're going to get? Based on the weighted performance of the smallest areas among all V1 to V4 ranked members. Everybody, not just in your team, everyone in the global community. They look at the weighted performance of your smaller legs, right? And determine how much you're going to get. So for example, we've got 50% total rebate. We've got that income tax, right? And we divide that income tax that's in that pool by the total small area performance, okay? Total global small area performance times the individual's, your small area performance. Then you can determine how much you're weighing. If you go in the back office, they'll tell you what the how much income tax was collected globally. So 50% of that income tax is what's going to be in the pool. And every 15 days, you're going to get a piece of that rock for making a move, for being a positive contributor, active contributor to the DAO and the ecosystem. So 40% goes to all of the V1 folks, 30% goes to all the V2 folks, 20% V3, 10% V4. Okay, most of the people will be in the V1 and the V2s. That's why they get a bigger reward ratio, because there's a lot more people to split that AS pool between, right? And the other guys, the V5, V6, the V12, and all of them, they're rich. So yeah, they're rich. They've already made it. And this is for you who decide to make that move. Now, you notice when I'm talking about what our earnings going to be, what our rebase is, what our yield is, I said nothing about you bringing someone in and she has $10,000 she wants to stake, and that you're going to get 10% of that. No, you're not going to get $1,000 on her $10,000. Why not? Because her $10,000, she want to use it to stake. She doesn't want to use it to pay the network. What we're used to seeing, and what we have seen in the past, is that I will come in underneath you. I would put $10,000 in. They would take 10% and give it to you. You get 1,000. They would take 9% and give it to your sponsor. Take 8%, give it to your sponsor, 70%, 7%, sponsor, all the way up. And before you know it, that $10,000 that I came in to stake is only $4,000, right? Because $6,000 was distributed to the network. The math ain't mathing. Yet and still, they would tell me I'm still earning on $10,000. Wait, how is that possible? There's only $4,000 left. So no, we don't do that here. All of the earnings I talked about, the residence reward, the referral rewards, the all of them, the rebate, service reward even, all of that is based upon, right? Based upon the earnings folks are making daily. Now, that was the rebate reward. But the service reward is the exception to the rule. On a service award, you will be able to make a 5% subsidy rate on folks that you bring in personally, okay? And you notice that not a lot of people are going to qualify for this. So the math is mathing. So let's say, for example, here are the requirements. Number one, you must be titled V1 through a V12. That's one of the requirements to get the service award. Number two, and I think we call that, which one we call the reciprocal reward in the back office? One is the reciprocal award. rebate reward. Yeah, I get them mixed up because the names are different, but you'll see it when you go back there. And all of the things in the back office, they have a little gray circle, and you click on that gray circle, and it's an information box will pop up, which will tell you what this thing is. I've learned that. And so you've got to be ranked, number one. Number two, you have to have 180 or 360, anything greater than or equal to 180 days staking, okay, or bonds. 180. If you don't, you're not eligible for this. In addition, you brought me on board. I've got to buy 180 or 360 days, greater than or equal to 180 days. Okay, staking, you 180, 360 days product, me 180 days, a 360-day product. Okay, that's a requirement. Now, here's another requirement. The last requirement. I would have had to have DAI in my wallet, my private wallet. And then I logged in, connect my wallet. I swap my DAI for AS, okay? I swap my DAI for AS. And then when I swap it for AS, then I stake, okay? Now, if I have AS in my wallet and I go directly in to stake my AS without swapping DAI for AS, some people give their team AS to help them out, quickly get them on board, then you're not eligible for the 5%. It's only for the folks who come in, okay? They come in, they have DAI in their wallet, the guy or gal you brought on board. They have DAI in their wallet. They utilize the swap feature, the swap mechanism, to swap their DAI for AS. Bingo, you qualify for that 5% of that $10,000 she just put in. Okay? Now you qualify for that $500 you're going to get. Okay? So, and this service war is not a drain on the tokenomics, because not a lot of people are going to meet this qualification at all. And so let's talk about why we like AKAS and some of the core advantages. It had a global fair launch. They had no's at the beginning. Nobody got a boatload of tokens, no dev team, no marketing team, no founders, no family and friends, no leaders. No one got a bucket full of tokens. And not only that, those who purchased that node in advance during the pre-launch, they've got their price at the same price that the guys and gals who didn't have a node who came in on that very same day. Okay? Fair launch. They didn't get it for $1. We didn't get it for $5. We got it the same price that people who came in on launch day got it for. Fair launch. The third thing is they said, we're not going to give you any staking product for your node. We're not going to give you a node and give you a 30-day node. So after 30 days, you can take everything and dump it on the community's head. We're for that. We understand 360 days. So that's wonderful. So that's fair. Now, 100%, they sold $6 million in nodes. 100% of that was taken, okay, of that DAI was taken and paired with the AS tokens. And it was LP tokens were created, liquidity pool tokens were created. And they took that and they burned it. Black hole destruction. All of it. 100% gone. Whoa. Right? And what that did was it completely eliminated the possibility of liquidity withdrawal or price manipulation. Okay? It provides a solid foundational security guarantee for the long-term value resonance of AS. One of the questions that was asked of me, well, if they're throwing all of the liquidity in the black hole, don't you need liquidity to buy and sell? Don't you need liquidity to trade? Okay, absolutely. But they burned it. So how can we buy and sell? Because the black hole and the burning of liquidity is, people think that's what it's doing. What it's doing is it's burning it, putting it in the burn wallet, right? Just like with every blockchain, you've got Ethereum, Arbitrum, you've got Avalanche, you've got Polygon, you've got all of these blockchains, and all of the blockchains have burn wallets. And they look like this: 0x 0 0 dead. If any project tells you they've got a burn wallet and it's 0x FAE2D, whatever, no, that's their mother's wallet. Stop playing. Stop playing. There are only two standard burn wallets. And so what they're doing is they're burning the LP so nobody can come in the back door and steal it. No one can get anything out of that liquidity pool. But it's being burned, but the liquidity is still being kept in the DEX or the exchange that they're utilizing. So they just can't go through the back door and get it, right? But you can buy and sell. Okay, so it doesn't just go away. It's in the liquidity, but nobody can take it. It's 100% black hole destruction. Okay, so that's wonderful. And so I already talked about the bonds. I talked about the staking, talk about the flexibles. And I tell you, this is, back in the day when we had DeFi 2.0 back in the day, like yesterday, you will have liquidity providers, right? And these liquidity providers, like myself, would get in and say, ooh, I can make yield. So I put in $50,000 worth of the stable coin and $50,000 worth of the project token. Now I'm a liquidity provider. But I can wake up a month later, 2 months later, a half year later, and say, well, okay, what's going on? Because I really don't care about the project. And, I just thought it would be a good one and I like the yields, right? Okay, what's next? So I will pull my liquidity out and say, bye, Felicia. And this is what being a liquidity provider is all about. You have liquidity providers who are very wealthy, but in any given moment, they could pull that liquidity. They are human, but with this system, with the limits DAO model, no, we don't need people to be liquidity providers. We are protocol own liquidity that we locked. So we eliminate that third party, that liquidity provider person who can just have a negative effect on the price anytime they feel like it when they wake up in the morning. Okay, so that's it. Okay, now I can't freely add or remove any liquidity at all because it's owned by the protocol. So liquidity is the lifeblood of decentralized finance, of DeFi. But I'm going to go a little bit further and say that liquidity is actually the lifeblood of any market. If there is no demand or any money out there for gold, gold is going like a beast. I think it's $3,700 now, right? It's hit another all-time high. There's no demand for it and there's no liquidity for it. It would be valueless, right? The same thing with Bitcoin. If there is no liquidity, valueless is going to zero. Same thing with stocks and bonds. If there is no liquidity, it's all for naught. No buying, no selling. You can buy all you want. You can attempt to buy, but you're going to get huge slippage. Selling, you ain't even going to be able to sell. There's no liquidity. Okay? So now I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is a new day. Even in this world, in the real world, we say the era calls for a new order. And we see that all around us. We're also seeing that in DeFi. We no longer wait passively. We're all going to make that individual decision to choose to forge our future, our path with our own hands. And this is what we have in AKAS DAO. I'm going to stop my share right here. Any questions, any comments? 9:50, 50 minutes, okay. Any questions, any comments? Let me stop this. Oh, stop the record. Questions, comments?